Hello, my name's Amritt Flora. I'm the course leader of MA Interior Spatial Design, and we're just going to give you an overview of the course that can work in relation to the other information that you will have seen on the course page, a few examples of some work and the things we do. So just to let you know that this has been a course that's been running for about 15 years. And typically in a year, we have about 70 students from around 20 countries around the world. We're based at Camberwell College of the Arts. The course originally started at Chelsea and moved over a few years ago. And one of the advantages we feel we have is that it's a very dynamic part of London, a very interesting mix of different things, but also on campus we have a mix of different design and art courses, both at MA and BA level, which means the whole environment is a sort of creative opportunity for any students who are joining a course to interact with all sorts of different people. We come from a very broad range of backgrounds as staff, but also as students, and we're very interested in being recognised as an experimental spatial practice course, which pushes the boundaries on what spatial practice is and how we can investigate it through different mediums, whether digital or physical, whether drawing or film, or any other appropriate methods. And how we can take the interest of the student as a starting point rather than the interest of a member of staff, and generate a new generation of start a new generation of students and practitioners who use current techniques to explore spatial practice. We have, as you will see from the course descriptions on the page, 3 units that run across a 15-month module. And these units are designed to spread across one project across the whole of the course. So students will start in Unit 1 to discover and define topics that interest them and see how over a 3-month period they can investigate, observe, read, test ideas that start to define a brief or a project that they're actually interested in, and how that will lead into the following courses. So again, about observing the spaces around you, discovering techniques and approaches that you might have not used before, but using all of that to critically ask questions about what is the contemporary way in which people occupy, use, function in, or feel about the spaces that we have around us, not just from an interior point of view, but also from the point of view of cities at a larger scale, or international differences between how people use spaces in different parts of the world, or for different reasons. So we ask students then to take those initial ideas and define a little bit more clearly what their focus is in their own project, and then develop that project through Unit 2. So ideas about, as I said, whether it's the domestic home and the kitchen and how it's used in a gender-related way, to whether gender might impact on how the same people are moving through the city. We might be designing new spaces, or we might just be commenting on existing spaces, and maybe there's a project which isn't about designing anything, but is about reflecting and inquiring about the spaces that we already use and occupy. So we are aiming for a single project that ties together theory, experimentation, material, and spatial practices. We are interested in the blending of digital and physical, but if you're interested in one and not the other, that's also fine. But we're very interested in the broader social issues and how design affects that and reflects the current way that society is working and how it's moving. As we move to Unit 3, around May, June time, that's the point at which those 5 developments of the project happen, and where the focus really then is on collecting and communicating all the research and all the information and all the outputs into the final submission in November, which is made up of portfolios, bodies of research, a short film, and physical models and so on. So these are then the culmination of that single project, which started with a few words and has ended up with a solid body of work for the final MA. And it's the complexity and the depth and your own practice which we're interested in, and how you position yourself and what it means for you to operate as a designer or an artist in the world that we see. So, as I say, we start from very simple words, sets of words that might be a mind map, might be a way of networking different ideas and content together so that you can start seeing where those overlaps and connections occur. Experimenting and playing with materiality, very simple models that might convey very complex ideas. Using digital techniques, photography, drawing, layering up, printing as well in terms of other ways of communicating ideas. Students setting up their own exhibitions, printing their own posters, inviting public to visit and work and see their work in progress. We have our own shows that we run, pin-up exhibitions, short things, but also a couple of times a year an exhibition of work that the public is invited to, that showcases the thinking that we're doing and the outputs and the ways that our students are developing innovative ways of thinking about spaces. There's social events related to those exhibitions where we will get other members of staff, students from around the college and other friends and family, but and also professionals coming to see what the latest way of thinking about spatial practice and design is. As I said, we use film because film is probably one of the better mediums for reflecting on how we occupy space through time and movement rather than a static drawing or model. And our students will also go out and test their ideas in real situations before they've finished, but finding spaces, finding people to collaborate, in this case, fashion designers to collaborate with, to create an installation, to create a catwalk show, invite members of the public to come. And this was part of London Fashion Week. And another student recently has moved from designing furniture to curating a furniture exhibition in the central London Gallery as part of the London Design Festival. So the opportunities for different things that you may not have understood at the beginning, that you may not have started the course thinking this is what I'm going to do, but the process leads you to other discoveries. So the application is about a personal statement that really tells us what you're interested in, what your aims are, and why you think our course in particular is relevant to the ideas that you want to develop. We ask you to submit a portfolio with work that you've done on your previous courses or in work experience, and that shows us how you think about space and how you work with it. And we also give you a short little project of a small video, 3-minute video, that helps us understand how you communicate visually and speaking about spaces. We give you a little project to do. Then, as I said, there's lots of postgraduate community around the college and across UAL. There's lots of support. You're working with people with different backgrounds from around the world. And so there's a whole opportunity to develop new techniques and new approaches and new ways of thinking about how you practice. And this is what leads to the change in what you thought you might be doing. You thought you might be a spatial practitioner, interior designer, working architectural landscape, but many of our students go on to do art practice or curation. They might be working in cinema and film. They might be designing games or working games things, or many other different things. So what you think you're doing the course for changes during the course because you discover these other ways of using your skills. We do have scholarships that the university will be able to advise on, and the various pages on the website, and the various financial support for applications. And there you will find lots of other answers. So if you have any other questions after looking at the web page or looking through the video or other information you found, and you want to make any ask any questions, please use this email address on the screen now, and you will be able to decide what your choices are. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this useful, and maybe we'll see an application from you in the future. Bye for now.